Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Okengo Matiang'I is back in this country, Kenya, and because he has thrown himself into the political arena of this nation and at stepping at presidency of this nation, many Kenyans are expecting a lot from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And after Fred Okengo Matiang'I had the homecoming and he was welcomed as a hero, and he had announced to the Kenyans that he is ready to fight for presidency and to make William Samoei Arap Ruto to be a one-term president. And then Fred Okengo Matiang'I told the Kenyans that he was going back to World Bank so that he can resign and come back and concentrate in his campaigns across the nation. But now Fred Okengo Matiang'I arrived in Kenya yesterday but one. And many Kenyans, as I have said, they see Fred Okengo Matiang'I as a hero, as a person who is going to make them to have a better Kenya for tomorrow, as a person who is going to unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto from power. And from most of the analysis which has been done, many people see Fred Okengo Matiang'I as the person who is acceptable across the nation. And from all the opinion polls which have been carried recently about the person who many Kenyans want to be their leader, Fred Okengo Matiang'I has been on the top list. That means he has been number one as the most rated political leader, that he is acceptable. And many Kenyans feel that if he could become the president of this republic, then he is going to change many things and he is going to make Kenya to turn around. Because by now many people feel that this country has actually gone to the dogs, or it is doing badly economically and even politically. And they feel that the person who will save the Kenyans from bad economy, from bad leadership, is Fred Okengo Matiang'I. So we have a lot of expectation from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And that is why today I want to explain to you about the major expectation that people want to get from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. So that is actually what I'm going to analyze this evening, so that you can know what are people expecting from Fred Okengo Matiang'I in this campaign. What do they want to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I? But before I dive in and try to dissect about the expectations from Fred Okengo Matiang'I that the Kenyans want to hear from him, I could request you kindly to subscribe to this YouTube channel, give this video a like, share this video to your friends, and whenever you subscribe to this YouTube channel, always make sure to smash the bell button. And by doing that, you will give YouTube permission so that you can be notified to watch any political content that we upload into YouTube. And doing all that is actually free. But you could have helped this YouTube to grow by doing that. Now, let us dive into the expectations that the Kenyans have about Fred Okengo Matiang'I and what they could like to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I as he is going to start his campaign or his campaigns across this republic. One thing that Kenyans want to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I is about how is he going to have that strategy of unseating President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Because as you know, William Samoei Arap Ruto is also another politician. He is a pusher. And for you to unseat William Samoei Arap Ruto, then you must have a proper strategy which will help you to unseat William Samoei Arap Ruto from power late come 2027 presidential election. So the Kenyans are wishing that Fred Okengo Matiang'I should actually come out and tell them what he could do so that he can make William Samoei Arap Ruto to be a one-term president. Another expectation that the Kenyans have or want to hear being addressed from Fred Okengo Matiang'I is about the economy. Because this economy is so bad. The cost of living is quite high. Kenyans are not able to access basic needs because of the high prices and bad economy. The flow of liquid money is at its lowest. And Kenyans are feeling the pinch. And that means they want to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I how he is going to turn the economy up, actually to turn the economy from worse to better. What will he do so that to make this economy work for us all as Kenyans? That's what the Kenyans expect, that Fred Okengo Matiang'I is going to tell them if he is going to get the presidency of this nation. How is he going to deal with the economy? So that is what the Kenyans expect to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. Another thing that the Kenyans want to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I is about abduction. Because as you can remember, during the Uhuru era, we also actually experienced abductions. And remember, the person who was the Interior CS was Fred Okengo Matiang'I. So the Kenyans are very eager to hear what Fred Okengo Matiang'I is going to do different and what really happened during the Uhuru era when he was the CS of Interior. Why were people at that time abducted? About the Yala story, that at that time people were actually found dumped at River Yara. So the Kenyans want Fred Okengo Matiang'I to address that, because as you know, currently we have a lot of abductions in this nation, and those abductions are actually coming from the government of the day. And if people are tired with that, and now they want also to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I, because he might also have been involved in the abduction during the Uhuru era. So they want to hear, how is he going to stop that? And during his tenure as the CS of Interior, why did that happen? Or what was happening at that time? Was he involved? So they want that to be addressed properly by Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And if that issue will be addressed properly by Fred Okengo Matiang'I, then many people are going to join Fred Okengo Matiang'I. That means they will vote in Fred Okengo Matiang'I. Another thing that Kenyans want to hear from Fred Okengo Matiang'I is, how is he going to deal with corruption in this nation? Because as you remember, there is a scandal about Waraka land deal. And Kenyans expect that Fred Okengo Matiang'I should actually address that. And he should tell the Kenyans, was he involved in that saga of land? And how is he going to make sure that corruption, which is actually rampant in this nation, is actually dealt with? So the Kenyans are expecting that Fred Okengo Matiang'I should address that issue, so that they can actually know whether they can trust Fred Okengo Matiang'I as a person who is going to deal with corruption, which is quite rampant in this nation, and which is costing the Mwananchi tax to go to our west. So that's another thing that the Kenyans want Fred Okengo Matiang'I to address. And lastly, the Kenyans want Fred Okengo Matiang'I to address how he is going to deal with governance, how he is going to deal with politics in this nation. Because we have Kenyans who feel that Fred Okengo Matiang'I has never been in the elective politics of this country, and he does not really understand more about politics. But now, since he's going to stop at the presidency, they want to know, how is he going to deal with the politics of the country? How is he going to deal with governance of this nation? Is he going to ignore court orders the way he used to do when he was in the so-called Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta government? So the Kenyans also want to know that from Fred Okengo Matiang'I about governance issue and about the national politics. Because for you to be the president of this republic, you must understand very well about governance. And you must understand about the politics of this nation. But if you cannot understand about leadership and about the politics of this nation, then you may deal this country into a mess. And therefore, Kenyans want to hear that from Fred Okengo Matiang'I. You as a Kenyan, what will you want to hear? Or what are your expectations from Fred Okengo Matiang'I? What could you want Fred Okengo Matiang'I to address as he move forward to start a proper campaigning? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to bump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And whenever you subscribe to this YouTube channel, always remember to smash the bell button, because by doing that, you will give YouTube permission so that you can get notified whenever we upload any political content into YouTube. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to our YouTube channel and who always keeps watching our videos, we say thank you, because you are behind our inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And with that, I say thank you, and may God bless you all abundantly. Goodbye.